My girlfriend yelled in front of everyone, "You could never be a good husband. I'm not going to marry you." I did not say anything. I just looked at her and walked away. Later that night, I suddenly got a message from her friend. "Do you even know what happened after you left? I'm 29 and until 3 weeks ago, I thought I had my life figured out. I had been with Sarah for almost 4 years. We met at a mutual friend's birthday party, hit it off immediately. And within 6 months, we were living together. She was a paralegal at a mid-sized firm downtown. I work in logistic management. We were not rich, but we were comfortable. We talked about marriage. We would even looked at rings together last Christmas. She would pointed outside this elegant cafe on at jeweler in the mall. We would secretly gone back 2 days later to ask about financing option. The night everything blew up was supposed to be celebratory. My cousin Marcus was throwing an engagement party at his place. Nice house in the suburb, professional landscape yard. About 40 people there. Sarah had been acting weird all week, distant and snippy, but I chalked it up to work stage. She would mention her boss was being difficult about some case deadlines, and she would be staying late at the coffee office there 3 or 4 nights that week. I would even offer to bring her dinner one of those nights, but she said no. That she would just grab something from the deli downstairs. We arrived around 7 am. The party was already in full swing. Music playing from outdoor speakers, people clustered in groups around the patio and living room. I was talking with Marcus and a few of my friends near the kitchen island when Sarah walked up with a drink in her hand. Her face was flushed, and I could tell she would already had at least 2 glasses of wine, maybe 3. "Can you talk?" she said, but her tone was not quiet or private. It was loud enough that Marcus stopped mid-sentence and looked at her. "Sure, what's up?" I kept my voice calm, trying to stage this towards something normal. "I'm serious. I need to talk about us." I glanced around. People were starting to look. Marcus fine. Jennifer was watching from across the room with a concerned expression. "Okay, let's go outside." "No," she cut me off, her voice getting louder. "I am tired of pretending. You know what? I don't think this is going to work." My stomach dropped. The music suddenly felt too loud. "Sarah, this is not place. You could never be a good husband. I'm not going to marry you." The room went completely silent. Every single person was staring at us. I felt my face go hot, my hands clenched involuntarily, but I kept my expression as natural as I could manage. I looked at her for a long moment, trying to figure out if she was drunk, if she actually meant it. Her eyes were hard, almost cruel, like she was daring me to respond. I didn't recognize the person standing in front of me. I did not say what. I just turned around, grabbed my jacket from the chair by the door, and walked out the front door behind me. I heard someone say, "What just happened?" And then the murmur of voice starting up again, but quieter, gossipy. I drove home in complete silence. No music, no phone calls, just the sound of my own breathing and the hum of an engine. My hands were shaking on the steering wheel. When I got back to our apartment, I sat on the couch in the dark of maybe an hour, just staring at nothing. The street light outside cast shadow across the wall. I kept replaying the scan in my head, trying to understand what I would missed, what I would done wrong. Then my phone buzzed. It was a text from Raquel, one of Sarah's close friends from college. "Do you even know what happened after I left?" I stared at the message for a minute before typing back. "What?" 3 dots appeared immediately. "Then can I call you?" "Yeah." My phone rang 5 seconds later. "Hey, Raquel," said, and her voice sounded strained. Like she'd been crying or was about to. I don't even know how to say this, but you need to know. After I left, Sarah completely broke down. She started crying and saying she did not mean it. That she just scared, but that's not the worst part. What's the worst part? My voice sounded hollow, even to my own ears. Raquel hesitated. I could hear party noise in the background. People talking, glasses clanking. Marcus' brother, Jake, was there. You know Jake, right? I did. Jake was Marcus' younger brother, maybe 26. Worked in finance. Always just a little too nice and talked to a little too loud about this portfolio and his gym routine. Yeah, I know him. Sarah been seeing him for at least 2 months. I feel like the floor had disappeared beneath me. The room titled. What? I did not know until tonight. I swear I had no idea after we left. Jake came up to Sarah and tried to comfort her. He put his arm around her and she leaned into him like it was the most natural thing in the world. Not like a friend comforting a friend, but like they were together. Then I overheard him say, "You said you were going to end it clean. This is not the plan." That's when I put it together. I confirmed her in bathroom 20 minutes ago. She admitted everything. I could not speak. My brain was trying to process the words, but they felt surreal, like something from a bad movie. She said it started at some work event Jack was at in September. Rachel continued, feeling the silence. They ran into each other, started talking, and then it just happened. That's what she said, like it was some accident. But 2 months is not an accident. That's the choice she made over and over. Is she still there? I finally managed to ask. Yeah, she is still at the party acting like she is the victim. A few people are comforting her, but honestly, most people look uncomfortable. Jennifer is pleased. I think she wants Sarah to leave. Thanks for telling me, I said, and my voice cracked a little on the last word. What are you going to do? I don't know yet. We hung up and I sat there in the dark of another hour. Then something clicked in my brain and I started thinking clearly for the first time all night. I opened my laptop and logged into our shared bank account, the one we would set up for rent and utilize about 2 years ago. We'd both contribute a set amount each a month. And I was supposed to make things easier. I started scrolling through the transaction from the past few months. At first, everything looked normal. Rent, electric bill, internet, groceries. Then an interest charge I did not recognize. A restaurant called Proposition. An upscale place downtown that I would never been to, $180 2 months ago. Another one 3 weeks later, $210. Then there was a hotel charge from four weeks ago, $340 from a boutique hotel about 15 minutes from our apartment. Sarah had told me she was at a work conference in Chicago that weekend. I took a screenshot of every transaction that it did not make sense. There were 11 in total. Update 1. I did not sleep that night. I could not. I just sat there on the couch, laptop open, staring at those bank statements and thinking about every lie she would tell me, every time she would said she was working late, every time she would been too tired to go out with me on weekends, every time she would pick a fight over something trivial. And now I realized it was probably because she was feeling guilty. At around 6 in the morning, I heard the apartment door open. Sarah came in quietly like she was trying not to wake me. She was still in the same dress from the party and she looked exhausted. I was sitting at the kitchen table with my laptop open and a cup of coffee that had gone cold an hour ago. She froze when she saw me. We need to talk. I said. She dropped her purse on the counter and crossed her arms defensively. Her makeup was smudged under her eyes and her hair was messy. I know, I messed up last night. I was drunk and I did not mean. How long have you been sleeping with Jack? Her face went pale. All the color drained from her cheeks. What? Don't lie to me. Russell told me, and I found the bank statement. I turned the laptop around so she could see the screen with all the highlighted charts. She stared at the charts for a long moment, her mouth opening and closing like she was trying to find words. Then her shoulders sagged. It just happened. It wasn't planned. 2 months is not just happen. Sarah, 2 months is a relationship. 2 months is a choice you made every single day. I was confused, she said. And her voice cracked. You and I have been together so long, and I started wondering if this was really what I wanted. Everything felt so routine. Jack made me feel, I don't know, excited again. Like things were not so predictable. So you humiliated me in front of 40 people because you were bored. I could feel the anger rising now, hot and sharp in my chest. That's not fair. No, what's not fair is that I spent 4 years building a life with someone who was shopping for upgrades behind my back. What's not fair is that I was looking at financing option of for an engagement ring while you were spending our shared money on hotel rooms with my cousin's brother. She started crying then, but it felt manipulated. The tears felt like a tools she was using. I'm sorry. I am. I made a mistake. Can you just talk about this? Can you try work throughout? There's nothing to talk about. I want you out of the apartment by the end of the week. This is my place too. The lease in my name. You moved in after I would already been here in a year. Check the paper. If you don't believe me, she stared at me like I would slap her. You were really going to throw me out. You threw us away the second you got into bed with Jack and just making it official. She left the kitchen without another word. I heard her bedroom door slam shut and then I heard her crying toward the wall. I don't feel bad. Update 2. Sarah moved out 4 days later. She tried to take some furniture that I would bought before we even met. A coffee table, a bookshelf, even the good blender, but I had receipts saved in a folder on my computer. And she backed down. The whole process was cold and mechanical. We barely spoke except for logistics and taking the dishes. Those were a gift from my mom. Fine, that kind of thing. Her parents came with a U-Haul on Saturday morning. Her dad would not look at me and her home. Her mom gave me this pitying look like I was the one who'd messed up. I didn't bother explaining anything to them. Jack, on the other hand, tried to reach out. He sent me a long text message 2 days after Sarah moved out, apologizing, saying he never meant for things to do this far and that he respected me too much to let this ruin my relationship with Marcus. The text was 5 paragraphs long, full of phrases like, I take full responsibility and I hope you can move past this eventually. I did not respond. I deleted it and blocked his number. 2 days later, Marcus called me. I heard what happened. He said, Jack told me his side, but I wanted to hear yours. I gave him the full story, every detail, the public humiliation, the affair, the bank statements, the hotel charge, the lies. Marcus listened without interrupting. Marcus was quiet for a long time after I finished. Then I said, I'm sorry, man. I had no idea. Jack's my brother, but what he did was beyond messed up. I'm not making excuses for him. I appreciate that for what is odd. Jennifer already uninvited Sarah from the wedding. She was supposed to be a bridesmaid. And I am keeping Jack on a very short leash. He is not in the wedding part anymore. Either Jennifer wanted him completely uninvited, but he is still my brother, so he can come to the ceremony and that's it. No reception. That gave me some small satisfaction, but it did not fix the betrayal. Nothing could fix that. Update 3. About 2 weeks after Sarah moved out, I got a message, but it did not fix the betrayal. Nothing could fix that. Update 3. Update 2 weeks after Sarah moved out from her Instagram. It was long and rambling, basically saying she would made biggest mistake of her life and wanted to meet up to talk. She said Jack had turned out to be different than she thought and that she realized I was the one of the actually wanted to be with. She said she would be foolish and impulsive and that's what we had was real. I didn't even open the message fully. I just blocked her on Instagram, Facebook and her email for good measure. But here's where it gets interesting. A mutual friend, Taylor, reached out to me a few days ago and told me the real reason Sarah was trying to come back. Apparently Jack had been seeing someone else the entire time he was with Sarah. Some girl from his office named Amanda. When Sarah found out, she saw a text on his phone. She confronted him and he basically told her she was just a flying. He said he never intended for it to be serious, that it was just fun and that Amanda was his actual girlfriend. Sarah was devastated. Taylor said she showed up at his apartment at 10 at night crying, asking him what she should do. And then 10 make things odd. She got fired from her job the same week. She would been showing up late repeatedly, missing deadlines, and she would gotten into a screaming argument with her boss about some filling mistakes. Her boss was apparently been lenient for weeks, but the argument was the final straw. Taylor said she would been calling around to mutual friends, trying to get someone to convince me to take her back. No one would help her. A few people told her explicitly that what she did was unforgivable. Final update. It's been 3 weeks since that night in Marcus' party. And I still was seeing everything, but honestly I feel lighter. The apartment is quieter, sure, but it's mine again. In the end, the furniture got rid of anything that reminded me of her. 3 out pictures, ruined some books she would left behind, even if placed the sheets on the bed. I started going to the gym in the morning before work. Never been reading more, little things that make me feel like I'm reclaiming my life. Marcus and I are still close. His wedding is in 2 months and I'm still invited. I'm been back in the wedding party as a ghost man. Jake won't be at the reception. Marcus held firm on what apparently Jack and Sarah tried to make things work for about a week after she found out about Amanda. But that imploded fast. Jake broke her number and she tried showing up at his apartment once. He threatened to call the cops if he did not leave. Last I heard, she moved back in with her parents an hour outside the city. She's unemployed and apparently spending most of her time in her childhood bedroom. Michael told me she's been posting big and said quotes on social media, the kind they are clearly about me, but never mentioned me by name. I have not heard from her directly since I blocked her on everything. Edaka checks on my sometimes, which is nice. She is feeling guilty for not noticing the affair sooner. I told her it's not her fault. Sarah was careful, she covered her tracks. If Rachel had known, she would have told me. I'm not dating anyone right now. I'm not ready, but I'm also not bitter. I'm just rebuilt. I found out before I actually made her. I didn't waste another 4 years. I did not propose with that sapphire ring and then discover all of this a year into marriage. I walked away when I did with my dignity intact. Sometimes I think about that moment at the party when she yelled at me and in front of everyone. At the time, it felt like the worst moment of my life. Now I realize it was a gift. She showed me exactly who she was, and I got to walk away before I was legally or financially tied to her forever. It won. If people have asked if I were confronted Jack directly, I did not. He's not worth my energy, and anything I said to him would have just been for my own ego. The way I see it, he has to live with being the kind of person who does that to someone. That's punishment enough. It too. Someone DM'd me asking if I even got an actual apology from Sarah beyond that Instagram message. No, the Instagram message was just her trying to get me back because her backup plan fell through. That's not an apology. That's deception. It 3. For everyone asking about the ring, I never bought it. I was planning to propose this Christmas. George the Bullet.